The crystalline halls of the Zephyrian royal palace echoed with the sound of heated argument. Princess Lyrelai's four arms gestured wildly as she faced the Galactic Council's tribunal, her iridescent blue skin flushed with humiliation. "This is preposterous," she declared, her voice carrying the melodic tones characteristic of her species. "I demand a reconsideration." High Arbiter Vex, a towering insectoid with compound eyes, clicked his mandibles dismissively. "The wager was witnessed by 17 species representatives, Your Highness. The terms were clear. If humanity proved superior in the trial of civilizations, you would bind yourself to their champion in matrimonial union." James Mitchell stood quietly in the corner, still processing the surreal turn his life had taken. 3 months ago, he'd been a simple engineer aboard the human colony ship Endeavor. Now apparently he was about to become alien royalty. Lisa Chen, the ship's xenobiologist and James's closest friend, whispered urgently in his ear, "This is insane, James. You can't seriously be considering this." "The trial was rigged against us from the start," James replied softly, his eyes never leaving the princess. "They expected us to fail at every challenge. Maybe this is exactly what we need to prove humanity belongs in the galactic community." The princess had proposed the wager after humanity's first contact 6 months prior. The Zephyrian Empire, dominant force in this sector of the galaxy, had dismissed humans as primitive newcomers. Princess Lyrelai, in her arrogance, had wagered that no human could best their finest specimens in trials of intellect, creativity, and adaptability. She had been spectacularly wrong. The trial of intellect had been humanity's first surprise victory. While other species approached the quantum puzzle with rigid mathematical formulas, James had applied intuitive engineering principles, solving it in half the expected time. The Zephyrian genius who'd created the puzzle spent 3 days studying James's solution before admitting its elegance. The trial of creativity had been Lisa's moment to shine. Asked to compose something that would move the souls of all present species, she hadn't created music or poetry. Instead, she'd crafted a story, a simple tale of a lost child finding their way home. The universal themes of love, loss, and hope had reduced several tribunal members to their species' equivalent of tears. The final trial, adaptability, had sealed humanity's victory. Faced with a hostile environment simulation that changed parameters every 60 seconds, most contestants had tried to overpower or outlast the challenges. James and Lisa had done something unprecedented. They'd worked together. While other species saw cooperation as weakness, the humans had adapted by combining their strengths, surviving scenarios that had defeated participants 3 times their individual capabilities. Now, as Princess Lyrelai stood before the tribunal, her royal composure cracking, James felt an unexpected surge of sympathy for her. "The princess made the wager in good faith," he said, stepping forward. All eyes turned to him, and he felt the weight of representing his entire species. "But I propose a modification to the terms." The princess's silver eyes narrowed. "You dare hear him out, Your Highness." High Arbiter Vex interrupted, his antennae twitching with curiosity. James cleared his throat. "Among humans, marriage is not a punishment or a transaction. It's a partnership built on mutual respect and understanding. If Princess Lyrelai truly wishes to honor her wager, then let this union serve a greater purpose." He turned to address the entire assembly. "Humanity seeks not dominance but cooperation. Let this marriage be the foundation of a true alliance between our peoples, not the forced submission of the defeated, but the chosen unity of equals." Princess Lyrelai's expression shifted from indignation to something approaching surprise. "You would willingly bind yourself to an alien? To me? I would willingly bind myself to someone who has the courage to honor their word, even in defeat," James replied. "The question is whether you have the wisdom to see this not as punishment, but as opportunity." Lisa stepped forward, her voice carrying across the hall. "Throughout history, the strongest alliances have been forged not through conquest, but through understanding. What my species brings to this galaxy isn't superior weaponry or technology. It's the ability to see potential where others see problems. The princess was quiet for a long moment, studying James with new interest. Finally, she spoke. You puzzle me, human. Your species confounds every expectation we held. That, James said with a slight smile, seems to be our specialty. Hi, Arbiter Vex's compound eyes glittered. An intriguing proposal, Princess, what say you? Princess Lyrelei drew herself to her full 7-foot height, her forearms folded in a gesture of contemplation. When she spoke again, her voice carried new respect. Very well, James Mitchell of Earth. If you truly see partnership where I saw penalty, then perhaps there is wisdom in your species I have yet to comprehend. She extended one graceful hand toward him. I accept this alliance, not as my punishment but as my education. As James took her hand, he felt the weight of history shifting around them. This wasn't just about keeping a wager or avoiding diplomatic incident. This was about proving that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in dominating others, but in lifting them up. Lisa caught his eye and nodded approvingly. They had come to the stars seeking new worlds, but instead, they had found something far more valuable, the chance to show the galaxy what humanity truly represented. The princess squeezed his hand gently, and for the first time she smiled. Perhaps, she said quietly, this will not be such a punishment after all. Outside the palace windows, two civilizations prepared to write a new chapter in galactic history, not through conquest or submission, but through the most human virtue of all, the courage to choose hope over fear.